Toastmaster, Rujuta Shah. Welcome, Rujuta. Could you please check your audio and video and see if you can locate the timer cards?
Yes. Green, white, yellow. Yes, white.
Perfect. I can hear you and you're very clearly visible. So thank you. Let me introduce you. Yes. Toastmaster Rujuta Shah. Mount Elbris Expedition, an unforgettable experience. Mount Elbris Expedition, an unforgettable experience. Toastmaster Rujuta Shah. Over to you, Rujuta.
As it is rightly said by Greg Child, somewhere between the bottom of the climb and the summit is the answer to the mystery why we climb. The summit to Mount Elbris was one such expedition which made me realize my real strength. And I realized that I am much more physically and mentally strong than I thought I was. A very good afternoon, contest chair, my fellow Toastmasters, and dear guest. I was always a kind of a girl who used to like wearing matching outfits and fancy accessories. I used to complain for not having enough clothes to wear, even I had many. But my summit to Mount Elbris literally changed me as a person. The 7 summits are the highest mountain in each of the 7 continents. I summited Mount Elbris, which is the highest peak in Europe of about 18,510 feet. We started our journey on 2nd July 2016, which also happens to be my birthday. We were a group of 4 members, which included Tanish, Khot Uncle, myself, and my guide Chetan Dada. We started our journey at 5 p.m. from the Pune airport. From Pune airport to Delhi, Delhi to Moscow, and from Moscow to Mineral de Bodi. So basically, we traveled around by 3 flights and a long 10 hours journey by jeep to reach the base camp. We reached the Moscow airport the next morning and were taking out the bags from the escalator. At that time, Khot Uncle asked me, "Hey Rujuta, is this your bag?" It looked navy blue from a distance and I nodded and said yes. When we came outside the terminal, I realized it wasn't my bag. We asked the airport service assistants their help, but we could not communicate our problems itself to them as we faced a lot of language barrier. Finally, we could not do anything as we had our next flight to Mineral de Bodi. I felt really bad, but we did have to catch our next flight to Mineral de Bodi. When we reached Mineral de Bodi, I purchased some gloves, some thermal wear and goggles which were important for the expedition. We met a Russian guide whose name was Victor. We did a small acclimatization trek near the base camp. The nature around was just beautiful. There were a number of waterfalls, hot water springs, beautiful small little flowers everywhere, lush green valleys. The view was just mesmerizing. Our next camp was a summit camp at an elevation of about 11,000 feet. As we had a lot of expedition materials along with us, we had to carry them from the base camp to summit camp. So we actually packed 20 kg bags on our back and traveled from base camp to summit camp twice. But it also did help us to acclimatize better. We faced a lot of language barrier while we were in Russia. So we used to play dum sharas all the time. So once we were having bread and croissants for the breakfast, and the caretaker at the base camp asked us if we wanted meal. We could not understand what she was saying, so she did zzz, and then we understood that she was asking if we wanted honey. People in Russia are really very sweet and caring, and I was surprised to know that sugar is called sakhar and pineapple is called ananas in Russian language as well. We were going to summit on 10th July, but we could not summit due to the bad weather. We thought of waiting for an open window, but we finally had to summit on 12th July as our visa was going to expire. So we finally decided to summit on 12th July. We started our journey at 2 a.m. in the morning as the ice is set and it does not melt. We were walking using our trekking shoes and crampons, which are spiked metal plates to your shoes which avoids from slipping from ice, which weighted around 5 kg. The temperature was around -25 degrees Celsius and the wind speed was about 250 kilometers per hour. So the snow was hitting us so hard as if someone was throwing snowball at me continuously. I was walking one step at a time. Sometimes my leg used to go deep down in the snow till my knees. Sometimes I used to feel so exhausted, I just used to pause for a moment, look at the beautiful nature around, and that used to give me the strength to get going. There was a point where I could actually look at the summit right in front of my eyes, but I was drained physically. At that time, my guide Chetan Dada and our Russian guide Victor encouraged me by saying, "No pain, no gain." And that gave me the strength to get going. Just the day before our summit camp, I met Alex, who was from New Zealand, who had summited Mount Elbris. He had lost his three fingers during the expedition. I had kept dry fruits in my pocket for instant energy during the summit. So while I was removing the dry fruits from my pocket, I also removed my gloves. And due to the high wind speed, it flew away. I was so afraid that I might get frostbite, I might lose my fingers just like Alex. So I was keeping constant check on my fingers. The last patch of the expedition I could summit only because of my mental strength. When I reached the summit point, I had a smile on my face and I felt very accomplished as I could summit. The view from up there was just mesmerizing. The snow-clad mountains were above the clouds. As the weather was bad, we could not stay there any longer, but we did click a photo with the Indian national flag and felt really very proud. Also, if you're wondering if I got my bag, surprisingly yes. I got my bag just the day before the expedition. Being in nature, I had completely forgotten about my lost bag. I was living a life with no comforts. I did not complain. I had not combed my hair, so was wearing a buff the entire time. I was wearing two shirts the entire time during the expedition. I had not bathed since my birthday, but I was loving the life over there, which was interacting with different trekkers, knowing their story, knowing my own strengths, and working almost 10 to 12 hours every day and still feeling fresh. At that time, I realized we give importance to a lot of things that are really not that importance, and that changed me. It does not matter how you look or what you wear, but the person that you actually are matters, and the wonders mental strength and being positive could actually do. Mount Elbrus expedition is the most unforgettable and amazing experience which I will cherish my entire life. Over to you, Chairperson.
Puneet Bagrecha, contestant number 7. Over to you, Puneet.
The best known stories are the ones which are not just read, but not just listened, but one which are truly experienced. Thank you, Toastmaster Rujuta, for taking us on an informative journey as you how you climb Mount Elbrus. I will be evaluating your speech on these 6 parameters. Number 1, narrative style of storytelling. Number 2, the choice of words. Number 3, descriptive hand gestures. Number 4, 5 and 6, which are being tempo, intonation, and pause. Toastmaster Rujuta, you use the 3S of storytelling to the best of your abilities. 3S involves the setup, the struggle, and success. There was this ardent desire within you to conquer Mount Elbrus, and I love the way in which you portrayed throughout the journey. Right from the way in which you planned your journey till the end you submitted. There was a setup which was beautifully articulated, the struggle which you experienced internally throughout the journey, and the success wherein you gave us the message that when you go on this journey, it transforms you emotionally and mentally and physically as well. Second point, which is a choice of words. You verbalize through your powerful words, which indeed made me visualize throughout the journey, which in turn vitalized your speech and even the script as well. Great job on that. And last but not the least, the hand gestures. They were in sync throughout your speech. They were descriptive as well. You had said 10 hours, and the numbers which you quoted, you always had an open gesture, and more importantly, you were very comfortable with this virtual medium as well. Now there are 3 kinds of speeches. One which you practice, one which you deliver, and one which you wish you could have delivered. To help you move from second to third, what else you could have done to present yourself better? Let's prepare and prevent, and not repair and repent. I observed that you had a faster rate of speech throughout your speech. I would recommend if you could work on tempo, intonation, and pause. These 3 things. Normally, a speaker speaks in a lot more faster manner because he or she has too many content to say. I would urge you to look at yourself and give us time for me as a listener to observe what you have said. Pauses are the best way where you can not only help me understand what you have said, but also inculcate curiosity. Pauses are the best way to enhance the delivery of your conversational dialogue. You see, there was this emotional turmoil within you, wherein you had this feeling whether you would get frostbite. I felt you could have lowered your voice during that. You had higher tempo, but work on reducing your rate of speech to little extent so that I as an audience can understand. Number 2, intonation. You had high volume throughout. Lower it to convey your emotion. And last but not the least, pauses. Pauses are the best way for any speaker to give the audience a chance to listen and create curiosity. In the conclusion, you said, I felt your conclusion was slightly abrupt. You could have given us time for me to observe what you have said. In summary, after all, conclusion is the one which anyone remembers. In summary, I love the way in which you narrated your story. Work on tempo, intonation, and pause to enhance the message, and you would be unforgettable here. Over to contest chair.
Thank you so much, Puneet. We will now have a minute's silence for the judges to mark their ballots.